Dear friends, and good morning on the 25th of September. Today, the transiting moon will be in Cancer and will join Mars there. So this is a pretty intense combination. It's important to consider that the moon here will be very strong and Mars will be very weak. So it's like the energies of those two planets are blending, but one of them is dominating. And as we said, it's the moon that dominates in this situation, which means that we could be over emotional, over sensitive. We may take things too personally. And overall, our moods may have a huge impact on what we are able to do, the actions we are taking, the way we are expressing ourselves. So from one side, such a combination can bring passiveness. If we are in a bit of a, let's call it lazy mood, or we are demotivated, or we just want to relax, or we don't want to bother too much, it's possible that the day might be very non-productive. But the other option is that if we are emotionally involved, if we are emotionally triggered, if there is something that is kind of like triggering us internally, not so much in terms of the mind, the head, the practical things, but more like what's personally important for us, or what feels like it matters, or what feels like it's related to our space, to our environment, and it really, as I said, matters to us, then we can take action and we can do, I would say, even many things. So if one option is, if you can, maybe you can relax today, maybe you will need to just rest if you feel like this is more like where you are right now. But if you feel like you want to do things, you just want to find the proper way to motivate yourself, then try to search for something that feels like it's important. It's not about obligation. It's not about because it's on your to-do list or somebody tells you that you have to do it, but it's more like you really want this. It's like inside of you, you feel like that's what you want to do. In this case, Mars and the moon can be, I would say, highly efficient and active. But again, only if the feelings are also involved. And let's look together. Just keep in mind also that this combination, Moon-Mars, can trigger sometimes confrontations because people are taking things too personally, or other types of, I would say, impulsive expression of some kind of aggression or anger or something that has been suppressed, and also more like irrational behavior. This combination can bring very, very irrational actions. So be mindful with your decisions and what you are doing today. The other thing which is interesting to explore is the position of Mercury. Mercury is in the last 3 degrees today and in the next couple of days, the last 3 degrees of Virgo, which are critical degrees. And even though Mercury is very strong in Virgo, there is some kind of weakness now that comes with it, which means that we need to look from a different perspective, not the traditional, logical, detail-oriented perspective. This worked pretty well in the last couple of weeks, most of the time, when Mercury was transiting Virgo. But now it's at the very end of the sign. So either it's time to reassess the results from the last couple of weeks to see where we are, and from this perspective to analyze, but not just the small details, but also to try to find some kind of conclusions, a little bit like an overall conclusion, or to get the essence of some kind of process from the last couple of weeks. This may work very well today. Plus, also, Mercury has connections with the 3 outer planets, trines with Uranus and Pluto, which are very supportive for deepening our thinking, to focus on something and to focus from a very different perspective, to get to the root of something, the trine with Pluto, which is applying. So it will increase more and more in the next couple of days, and to kind of like see the essence of something, again, the root of something. Also the ability to concentrate, to focus on one concrete thing. And with Uranus, the trine is bringing untraditional ideas, different perspective, liberation of the mind, setting free from some kind of thoughts, ideas that you might have been stuck with, or they have been limiting for you. It's a great time to recognize those and to release them. And the opposition with Neptune is the one which is actually problematic here, and it's exact today. So there could be things that we may not see so clearly, or the opposite. We may see things that in the past we didn't see clearly, but now it's like, it becomes obvious that it was not realistic, or there were some kind of illusions, or there were some kind of, misleading things, or things that we saw in a twisted way, or we didn't want to look into the truth. So in every case, the mind is very, very active, at the same time not efficient to the maximum, especially when it comes to the external expression, because of the last 3 degrees, because of the critical position. This will not last too long, so just 1-2 days more. But as usual, we always have something positive or beneficial to do. So the most beneficial, I am repeating one more time, is to try to make a bit of a conclusion of the past few weeks and what they meant for you, or some kind of process that was developing, to kind of like summarize it, to see where you are right now, and to prepare for a shift, which will come very soon after the Mercury moves to Libra. So one more thing I want to add about the moon. The moon is triggering, activating the trine between Mars and Saturn. This trine is not exact yet. It's getting more and more exact in the next couple of days. The peak level is towards the end of the week. We will get to it, and I will tell you when it happens. But because the moon is passing here right now, then she's activating this trine. And Mars and Saturn, this trine is about organizing our actions, or prioritizing things. Both of the planets are not very strong, as we have talked already, but there is still something that they can benefit, something that they can bring. So try also to focus on some concrete things, and something which can have like, I would say, more pragmatic, concrete result in your life. So this aspect, the Mars Saturn trine, activated by the moon, may also help our productivity. So I think that, yeah, the day is not about kind of like wasting energy. It's about reorganizing. And those are very interesting moments when you see that there is some kind of weakness, like overall in the sky, we see so many planets in critical degrees. This is bringing some kind of weakness. Mercury right now, also critical degree. Mars, very weak. But learning to get the best from those situations is also a really valuable skill, because we are not always at the peak level of our capacity, of our energy overall. Actually, very often in real life, we are on certain level, usually not the maximum, but learning to do the best we can at this moment is actually, I would say, more valuable than trying to be at the 100% all the time, because we can't really be at the 100% all the time. But to learn to do the maximum, let's say, potentially today we have, let's say, 40 or 60% energy capacity. So learning to do the best with this is much more valuable than trying to fight with this, trying to get to your 80 or 100%. There are things that are beyond our control, but learning to handle with the things that are under our control and getting the maximum there is, in my opinion, the best we can do for ourselves and our efficiency. So today is one of those days, I would say. The energy is specific, but there is like a potential to do the maximum with this situation. And if we do it, those are the best results possible for us at the moment. So for me, it seems like a pretty good motivation. So enjoy your day, my friends. Thank you for joining me. Let me know in the comments how this feels for you and what is your percentage today? How do you feel? Where are you right now? It will be interesting to observe. So see you tomorrow.